Good afternoon, Internet. Yeah, I'm going to tell you mostly about this big quail, uh, Tesla bifilar quail, as shown in his patents, and he patented it in 1894 or 96, somewhere around there, I'm not 100% sure, as the bifilar quail. Now, this quail was made by myself approximately 5 years ago from wire 2.5 millimeters, 2.5 millimeters thickness, and in the olden days, heat-resistant wire used in stoves and heaters was covered in asbestos material, I would say. Although the stuff is inert, it doesn't create any dust. So the first thing that I've done so far is, if you looked at my previous videos, the small little quail that I made from a piece of scrap speaker wire that was used for a bedside lamp. I wasn't going to throw it away, so I wound it. And something to note here is that I wound 3 layers of 7 turns each, which gives me 21 turns. Now, the one side of the two wires, in the ripcord, I cut approximately 75-25% of the length, and those two wires connect on the end there in the chocolate block and goes to the positive on the battery. The other end of the two wires, the 75% length one, goes to the collector on the transistor, and the 25% one comes around the opposite side and goes to the gate or the base of the transistor. Obviously, I've got 2 resistors in there, a 10 kilo ohm resistor and a 1.7 kilo ohm resistor. And I've got a 1 nanofarad capacitor bridging the 2 resistors to give me the right, correct switch on voltage on the transistor. Now, I have taken off all of the black insulation tape on this quail that I had on there, and I glued the whole thing together with some bicarbonate of soda and super glue for the sake of making a nicer video and giving you guys a proper show of what I'm doing. Now, seeing as I split the one side of the ripcord of the double wire, the other side I left intact completely, and the whole length of wire was about 1.7 meters. So the other side creates one continuous coil inside there with 2 ends coming out, and the 2 ends I have soldered to the small coil on the big coil. running inside the loops. Now, something to note is the fact that there's 3 loops coming around. In other words, starting here, going around once, going around from here, it starts here, going around once to here, goes around twice to here, goes around a 3rd time to here, and then it comes out as this wire. So I'm basically using the one coil on the small coil here to power that coil on the big coil. Now, as it is a bifilar coil, I have not connected it in the traditional fashion because I'm running the oscilloscope and doing some experiments with it at the moment still. Now, what I've found with this big coil is that it is incredibly sensitive to my house wiring, which in South Africa here is 50 hertz and 230 volts. How I got past it, because it's very difficult to do some experiments if you've got interference from the house wire. I've switched my house's electricity off completely, and thus I can't run my oscilloscope from the wall plug. So fortunately, this oscilloscope can run off a power bank. Let's see, this power bank has still got 75% in it. And that gives me the oscilloscope. Now, without further ado, I'm going to switch it on here. And it's running. At the moment, what you see there on the oscilloscope is the 2 traces from the wires here. The one with the blue tape on is the blue trace on the scope there, and the one without any insulation tape on is the one with the yellow trace on the scope there. Now, I will say this, that if you read there 174, 175, 173 volts peak to peak, or 110 volts peak to peak, the second one there is the RMS. 61 volts and 36 volts. The voltages are true, but that doesn't mean that the amperage coming out of the coil is really very high, because if you look there, you can see that the frequency is 3.16 megahertz. Now, I'm going to change the pickup here, the blue one. I'm just going to put it onto the other side, so that will be measuring one coil on the big coil, on the bifilar coil, on the one end and on the other end. So you can see you've got a low voltage side on that coil and a high voltage side. Now I'm going to switch it over, and now I'm measuring two wires. Again, the same thing. You've got a high voltage side coming from, if you follow that, from the inside of the coil outwards, and a low voltage side which goes in on the outside of the coil. And now if I switch that one over to that one, which I'm measuring those two, indicated by the black on the insulation here and the black here, that goes into the coil right on the outer edge. And then it comes out of the coil as the one with the black stripe on it there. And it still gives me 3.15 megahertz. Come on. Focus. Fuck. In any case, so that is how far I've gone today. I haven't really put a load on it today. I want to rig up some lights here and see what we can get out of this coil. Again with a small coil. I can take this and throw it in my dustbin. So that would have been scrap wire. That wire was bought and paid for by my father in 1963, which was a year before I was born. The board I got somewhere, I don't know, maybe I went and bought it, I can't be sure of that. The transistor I bought, the little piece of metal plate that is working as a heat sink there, was a piece of scrap out of my garage here that I just didn't have to drill another hole to put a little bolt in for the transistor to hold down. So that is it for today. Thank you very much for watching my movie. Please like and subscribe. And if you can, share my video or videos with other people. It helps the algorithm to show people when I put new videos out, which is, if I can do it, possibly every day or every 2 days. And hit the bell icon there, because that will let you know the moment that I'm putting a new video out. So I say goodbye for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.